Throughout history, some events are remembered not just for what happened at the time, but for the important lessons they teach us. One such event was the bold attempt to destroy the Kaaba, the holy site in Mecca, by the Abyssinian ruler Abraha. This story explores the mix of power, religion, and divine protection that shaped this event, helping us understand why it happened and why it still matters today. To fully grasp the gravity of Abraha's expedition, it's essential to contextualize the socio-political and religious landscape of the Arabian Peninsula during the 6th century CE. This era was marked by a mosaic of tribes, each with its own customs, deities, and territories. Amidst this diversity, the city of Mecca emerged as a central hub not only for trade but also for spiritual convergence, owing to the presence of the Kaaba. The Kaaba, a cubic structure draped in reverence, housed numerous idols representing the myriad deities worshipped by various tribes. Despite the polytheistic practices, the Kaaba was universally acknowledged as a sacred site, fostering a sense of unity among the otherwise fragmented tribes. Pilgrimages to Mecca were customary, bolstering the city's economic and spiritual stature. Across the Red Sea, in the region known today as Yemen, the kingdom of Aksum, present-day Ethiopia and Eritrea, held sway. The Aksumites had embraced Christianity centuries earlier and were expanding their influence into the Arabian Peninsula. Abraha al-Ashram, originally an Aksumite general, rose to prominence during this period. His ascent to power in Yemen is attributed to a combination of military prowess and political acumen. As the viceroy of Yemen under Aksumite suzerainty, Abraha harbored ambitions that extended beyond mere governance. He envisioned making Sana'a, the Yemeni capital, a rival to Mecca in religious significance. To this end, he commissioned the construction of a magnificent cathedral known as Al-Khalis. This edifice was intended to not only serve as a center for Christian worship, but also to redirect the lucrative pilgrimage traffic from Mecca to Sana'a. Despite the grandeur of Al-Khalis, the Arab tribes remained indifferent, steadfast in their tradition of venerating the Kaaba. This indifference soon turned into hostility. According to historical accounts, a member of the Kinana tribe defiled the cathedral, an act perceived as a grave insult to Abraha and his religious aspirations. This desecration served as the catalyst for Abraha's resolve to avenge the affront by targeting the very symbol of Arabian spirituality, the Kaaba. Determined to assert his dominance and establish the supremacy of his cathedral, Abraham mobilized a formidable army, reportedly comprising 60,000 soldiers. A distinctive feature of this expedition was the inclusion of war elephants, creatures unfamiliar to the Arabian terrain, symbolizing an overwhelming force designed to instill fear and ensure swift victory. The journey from Sana'a to Mecca spanned approximately 400 miles, traversing arid deserts and rugged mountains. Along the way, several Arab tribes attempted to impede Abraha's advance, but were swiftly defeated, underscoring the might of his forces and the futility of resistance. As news of Abraha's approach reached Mecca, panic and despair spread among its inhabitants. The Quraysh tribe, custodians of the Kaaba, found themselves facing an existential threat. Conventional military resistance was not an option against such a formidable adversary. In this dire situation, Abdul Muttalib, the esteemed leader of Quraysh and grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad, emerged as a beacon of wisdom and faith. Abdul Muttalib is said to have advised the Meccans to evacuate the city and seek refuge in the surrounding mountains. He himself approached the Kaaba, offering heartfelt prayers and entrusting its protection to the divine. His poignant declaration, "The owner of this house is its defender," encapsulated the profound faith that the sanctity of the Kaaba would be preserved by a higher power. As Abraha's forces encamped in the valley of Muhasir, poised to launch their assault on Mecca, an extraordinary event unfolded. The lead elephant, named Mahmud, reputedly refused to advance towards the city, despite coercion and prodding. This unexpected defiance was soon overshadowed by a more astonishing phenomenon. The skies darkened with the sudden appearance of flocks of birds, referred to in Islamic tradition as ababil. These birds carried small stones and unleashed them upon Abraha's army. Each projectile struck with lethal precision, leading to widespread casualties and chaos within the ranks. The Quran alludes to this event in Surah Al-Fil, describing how the aggressors were rendered like eaten straw, a metaphor for their utter decimation. The miraculous destruction of Abraha's army had profound implications. The Kaaba remained unscathed, reinforcing its sanctity and the belief in divine protection. This event, occurring in the year known as Am al-Fil, or the Year of the Elephant, is traditionally believed to coincide with the birth year of the Prophet Muhammad, adding layers of significance to the narrative. The failure of Abraha's expedition not only preserved Mecca's religious centrality, but also solidified the city's status as a thriving commercial hub. Pilgrimages continued unabated, and the Quraysh tribe's prestige soared, laying the groundwork for the socio-political environment into which Islam would later emerge. The story of the day the Kaaba was almost destroyed transcends its historical context, offering timeless lessons on faith, resilience, and the interplay between human ambition and divine will. It underscores the idea that places and symbols held sacred by genuine devotion are safeguarded by forces beyond human comprehension. Moreover, it highlights how adversity can unify communities, strengthen collective identity, and inspire narratives that endure through the ages. In recounting this tale, we are reminded of the enduring power of faith and the belief that, even in the face of insurmountable odds, there exists a higher order that guides and protects. The preservation of the Kaaba stands as a testament to this conviction, inspiring reverence and reflection in the hearts of millions across the world. The events surrounding Abraha's failed expedition had far-reaching consequences beyond the immediate preservation of the Kaaba. Politically, the incident demonstrated the limitations of foreign intervention in the Arabian Peninsula. Despite possessing superior military resources, including war elephants, Abraha's army succumbed to unforeseen circumstances, highlighting the resilience of the indigenous tribes and the challenges faced by external forces attempting to impose their will. Religiously, the event reinforced the sanctity of the Kaaba and solidified its status as the central pilgrimage site for the Arab tribes. This unifying factor played a crucial role in the subsequent spread of Islam, as the Kaaba transitioned from a sanctuary housing idols to the monotheistic center of worship in Islam. Its significance only grew stronger. The failed attempt by Abraha became one of the many events that reinforced the belief among the people of Arabia that the Kaaba was under divine protection. This belief was later solidified with the advent of Islam, when the Prophet Muhammad, born in the same year as this miraculous event, eventually cleansed the Kaaba of its idols and restored it as the focal point of pure monotheism. The Quraysh, who had long been the custodians of the Kaaba, took immense pride in their connection to this sacred structure. The miraculous destruction of Abraha's army further enhanced their prestige, making Mecca not only a religious center but also an economic and political powerhouse in the Arabian Peninsula. Pilgrims from all over continued their journeys to Mecca, engaging in trade, forging alliances, and solidifying the city's reputation as a beacon of both spirituality and commerce. Despite the miraculous nature of Abraha's defeat, the lesson of the event extends beyond divine intervention. It is a tale of arrogance and the consequences of attempting to impose one's will upon what is divinely decreed. Abraha's downfall serves as a reminder that power and ambition, when misdirected, can lead to an individual's own destruction. His reliance on military strength, war elephants, and strategic planning ultimately failed against forces he could neither predict nor control. The birds that carried small stones and decimated his army were not an overwhelming force in the conventional sense, yet their impact was undeniable. This illustrates how even the smallest elements, when commanded by divine will, can overturn the mightiest of empires. The very fact that history remembers Abraha not for his grand structures or military campaigns, but for his failed attempt to destroy the Kaaba, is itself a testament to the lesson that arrogance and hostility towards divine decrees lead to ruin. In the aftermath of the failed attack, Yemen's political stability deteriorated. Abraha, severely wounded and humiliated, is said to have died upon his return. His sons, who inherited his rule, could not maintain their grip on power, and within a few decades, Yemen fell under the control of the Persian Empire. This demonstrates how a single act of defiance against divine sanctity can have consequences that ripple across time, altering the course of entire nations. For the people of Mecca, this event remained deeply ingrained in their collective memory. It was a story they passed down through generations, and when the Prophet Muhammad later preached the message of Islam, many in Arabia recalled the destruction of Abraha's army as evidence of divine intervention. The story found its place in the Quran, and believers to this day reflect upon its meaning. Over the centuries, the Kaaba has faced numerous challenges: natural disasters, fires, political conflicts, and even direct attacks. Yet, time and again, it has endured, standing firm as the holiest site in Islam. Millions of Muslims visit it annually, performing pilgrimage rituals that connect them to the legacy of Prophet Abraham and the long history of divine protection. The story of Abraha's failed conquest is not merely a historical episode, but a testament to the enduring power of faith and the limitations of human ambition. It underscores the principle that true power does not reside in military might or grand structures, but in submission to the divine order. The Kaaba remains a symbol of unity, resilience, and the idea that what is divinely decreed will always prevail, no matter how great the opposition. This event also sets the stage for the dawn of Islam. Just a few decades after this miraculous occurrence, Prophet Muhammad would receive his first revelation, calling for the worship of one God and the rejection of idols. The Kaaba, which once housed numerous deities, would be purified and restored to its original purpose. The very city that Abraha sought to subjugate would become the birthplace of a faith that would spread across the world. The day the Kaaba was almost destroyed serves as a powerful lesson in humility, divine justice, and the enduring nature of truth. It reminds us that no force, no matter how powerful, can prevail against divine will. This story, deeply embedded in Islamic tradition, continues to inspire awe and reflection, standing as a reminder that faith, patience, and trust in the divine are the ultimate sources of strength. With this, the tale of Abraha's arrogance and subsequent downfall remains a significant chapter in history, a narrative that echoes across time, reminding believers that sacred places, upheld by sincere devotion, are safeguarded by a force beyond human comprehension.